Welcome back. I'm sorry I haven't been making content these last few weeks. I've been away for a little bit. I've been busy with the move, with some exciting business stuff going on, but I'm back now. So get ready to start implementing some common sense into your lives, damn it. Now, forgive me for having a little bit of fun with this thumbnail. I know that many of you love daily updates, daily reminders of what we're in this for, reminders to stay vigilant and to keep fighting the good fight. Hell, it's like an AA meeting for many of us who get a kick from knowing that we're all soldiering through this bear market together with a shiny great light at the end of the tunnel representing wealth and that sweet, sweet financial freedom. But be careful, folks. There is a fine line between getting those pick me ups and nuggets of wisdom and experience and then scraping the barrel for meaning and analysis that need not be thrown into our decision making algorithm at this current time. You've seen it. Many folks out there talking about this and that, almost irrelevant most of the time. And to be honest, I've said it before, I don't want to be that type of influencer. I don't want you to see a video from me pop up and wonder to yourself, is this going to be a pointless rehashing of previously made points? Or is it going to be jumping on the hype train of some irrelevant point that's being sucked into a little micro bubble of news? You should be getting more value for your time. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw me vent a little bit the other day in saying that your time is valuable. Make sure you're spending it looking, reading, and learning about things that actually bring value to you. Rant over. All right. So with that being said, let's get into the video and talk about the current state of affairs. It's been a minute. What's going on and what is my take on this? All right. How should you be looking at the current market and macroeconomics at play right now, in my opinion? Well, to me, 2024 is looking insanely fantastic for crypto. I'll say that again. 2024 is looking insanely bullishly fantastic for crypto, in my opinion. If that's all you needed to hear, turn the video off, go about your day, and apply all the same rules that we talked about in videos past. Nothing's changed for me on that front. I'm joking, of course. Stay tuned. We are talking about some important things. But if you're still here, let me make this simple and digestible, looking through my lens. We have Bitcoin, broken through resistance at 30K, now around 36K. Bullish? Hell yeah, it's bullish. Short term, what does this mean? Well, if experience is anything to go by and we act according to cycles past, this last run seems to be, quite honestly, a little overbought, especially if we apply the rules of a typical diminished returns scenario. We should be tracking below the previous two bull markets, and we're not. We're tracking a little above. Now, for the most part, BTC and crypto in general are currently doing exactly what it's done every 4 years. But again, looking at a typical seasonality, usually we are due a pullback around this time. We haven't pulled back yet, which is potentially an indicator that we are again overbought. But not so fast. How else could we potentially look at this? Well, firstly, let me just say this. We are long-term investors here anyway, right? And I don't mean long-term for the next 20 years. I'm talking about we're not fickle enough to buy and sell based on very quick pre-bull market news, right? But looking at the scenario right now, why are we not abiding by a typical diminished return scenario or, typical seasonal pullback around this time? Well, firstly, there is a huge narrative around the whole bull market around the whole BTC ETF happenings and developments. You remember me bringing this to the table, right? Before anyone else was talking about BlackRock and ETFs. And why was I bringing it to the table back then? Why did I think that was noteworthy enough? Because it's huge. It's massive when a trend-setting mega entity like BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, is talking about setting a new trend, which is inevitably going to force down the drawbridge and open the floodgates to every other financial entity wanting a piece of that pie. as I like to say, the writing's on the wall. You can see which way the wind is blowing. To me, maybe I'm, privy to some conversations that some of the market, especially the crypto focused guys, are not. And so a lot of the TradFi guys I was speaking to, continue to speak to, are extremely bullish. This is now a part of TradFi going forward for all intensive purposes. Now, we got Grayscale jumping in with both feet after recently winning its legal battle. We got the BlackRock Spot ETF being listed already on the NASDAQ, along with many others. Quite simply, this is happening. Get aboard the train or don't. We have over $16.6 trillion so far from the biggest investment entities in the world coming into BTC alone, with the majority of these funds probably coming into the market around March, which is perfect timing for us if we were to use our common sense on when likely approval timelines are going to take place. Now, whether you are a genius or whether you are admittedly dumb as rocks, you can surely understand that from a demand point of view, this is massive. Do you understand how massive? It's quite literally the biggest revenue catalyst into crypto we have seen to date. And the best thing is, it's literally just the beginning. Oh, and don't forget, in less than 6 months, the BTC supply will be cut in half. Now, this has been the biggest catalyst in cycles past and will no doubt be a huge bull market impact maker yet again. But now you are coupling that cut in supply with a hugely inflated demand, rightly so, which to me spells a recipe for some real magnificent price appreciation that's going to more than combat any diminished returns that we think we're going to get. So what else is going on? We got the Californian governor, Gavin Newsom, who's just greenlighted a crypto regulation bill for 2025. Now, this again is great news for the markets. Yet again, another indicator that things are being more widely adopted. Regulation means there is a foreseen need and requirement for it. This means much, much wider adoption and implementation. What on the surface level seems to be control and a bit of doomsday and completely against what crypto was, invented for. It's inevitable. You can fight the good fight. You can start talking about all the different reasons why we don't need regulation, or you can accept that it's going to happen. There's no way a country, a governing body is not going to have certain regulations implemented, and jump on board and play the game as it best fits you, as you're able to capitalize on it. I stand by my narrative you've heard me say before. This cycle looks to be a perfect storm. We're at the intersection of when crypto sees huge revenue, a huge revenue influx, huge participation insurgence, as well as being at a time frame prior to mass regulation coming in to the same extent that it has been in other markets. We're on a ticking clock, and it's up to us to make the most of our time now compared to where it's going to be in the near future. Right now, it's the Wild West. In the future, it's going to be as regulated as other financial and asset markets, highly regulated. Right now, it's not even a fraction of the kind of regulations that we could see coming down the pike. Vis-a-vis, it is a perfect storm for us right now to take advantage of this sweet spot. I'm telling you right now, we have a finite amount of time before this next bull market's over. Maybe it extends to the next bull cycle too. Some things tend to move a little slower than others, but I guarantee you it's going to be diminished returns then too. So right now, position yourself accordingly. Now we have Standard Chartered Bank, the latest to launch a crypto custodial service in Dubai. They're $100 billion assets under management firm. And we're going to see more and more banks follow suit, just like with the ETFs with BlackRock. We're going to see other banks following suit and filing for these Bitcoin or crypto custodial services. It's going to be run of the mill for banks in the not too distant future. And so we can expect that. And again, why are they doing this? They're doing this because there is a requirement for that foreseen interest. It's a necessity due to the foreseen interest and engagement that we're going to get from the larger markets. It's unavoidable now. Now, if you're ever looking for catalysts from entities, from governmental institutions, these are the kind of flags you want to be looking for to see that inevitability. And of course, as that inevitability becomes more clear to the masses, the risk-reward ratio gets skewed outside of what's ideal for us right now. We're still looking for those 100, those 1,000 X's. You think that's going to be possible come the next cycle, the cycle after that? Who knows? But likely not, in my opinion. And it is, of course, just my opinion. So we've also got retailers like Ferrari who have just said they're going to accept crypto payments in the US, not Dubai, not Thailand, not Brazil, none of the BRICS countries. This is in the US. And this is driven by apparently the dealer requests, which have to be driven by consumer demand. Again, another flagship entity in its space that will smash down the drawbridge, open the floodgates to a lot more companies following suit. Another flag that we can look to if there weren't already enough flags for you to showcase just how much of a change of landscape we're going to see in our world economy, our country economy, our regional economy, whatever you want to break it down to. It's inevitable that it's going to be impacted. Now, if you don't see things changing, you've either had your head in the sand or you're looking and reading the wrong signs. So hopefully this video helps align what I think or how I'm looking at things with how I believe that you should be looking at the market to better your own situation and capitalize where you can. This bull market is going to be insane. This is why I haven't changed my narrative, just because others seem to be getting weighed down in the micro bubble, as we said, right? The micro bubble of the bear, whether it be certain legal suits, whether it be the SEC shenanigans, whether it be certain ups and downs of price performance, it doesn't matter right now. Nothing has changed. We were always looking for the bull cycle. And if anything, you should be feeling more bullish about that matriculation of revenue, about the crypto market exploding because of all these other things happening. The micro bubble that you may be getting weighed down in Twitter isn't going to have as big an effect as the rest of this. I will be the first to tell you if I'm out of a project. Nothing right now in terms of any of the projects that we're talking about, any of the Richard Hart tokens, Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX, which are my biggest holdings for a good damn reason. Casper, Quant, Metis, all the coins you've talked about in my private group, these are all tokens that I firmly believe in. And yes, we're going to be doing videos going forward about why a lot of these have such fundamental offerings. Their unique selling points seem to be fantastically positioned right now to start really gathering acclaim. Right now, you may see certain tokens that aren't moving with the rest of the market. Richard Hart's tokens being a good indicator of a token that's pre-viral or tokens that are pre-viral. They haven't yet got the wide acclaim just because all the folks who are already familiar with the Richard Hart ecosystem, the man himself, the vision, all of that good stuff, the concept behind how this is going to help 1,000,001 different people in the crypto market. We're already familiar with that. We jumped in with 2 feet because we were so sold. You kind of understand what's going to happen when the rest of the market starts to get wind of this too, right? This isn't the time to sell. This is the time to really buckle down and keep your holdings. I'm keeping my holdings. I'll tell you if I sell. Hell, I'll tell you right the way after I sell. It's not going to affect me if I'm selling prior to letting you guys know, but I'm not because I'm not stupid. So pick your projects. Continue to buy in. If you've been worrying, you shouldn't be. Now is the time to DCA in. Just like it has been since I started my channel in the bear market, nothing has changed. Just look at the engagement and the traction that this video gets. I guarantee you this 10Xs or 20Xs as we start getting into the bull cycle. You are still early. Utilize that. Leverage that. Don't get shaken out. It's easy to listen to content day in, day out about not getting shaken out, setting your positions. It's a different thing entirely to apply those same rules when you start hearing negative things happen, when you start following your portfolio too closely every single day and getting impacted every single day by every little micro event. I'm going to tell you, you can make life a heck of a lot easier for yourself by zooming out, shutting down your screen, and just look at it once a week if you really have to. We're not there yet. Just continue to DCA in. There's hardly anything that could really affect any of these projects to any great extent prior to the bull cycle. Even if there was some underlying issues with something, do you think the companies and the projects themselves wouldn't necessarily be strategic in how they bring that information to the forefront? We try to act as transparent as we can here. We try to glean all the insider data. We can analyze wallet engagement or transactions as we see fit. But ultimately, nothing's probably going to change for you. Most of you out there who are not day traders, because I wouldn't advise anyone be a day trader. I'm not. Anyone out there looking to make as big an impact as they can for themselves, you are better off dollar cost averaging in right now. 2 projects that you believe in. Pick your projects. Join my private group if you want. We have a lot of coins that we're talking about, along with the reasons for taking positions in them. If you need that extra guidance, it could be good. There are probably other private groups out there that may be useful to you, or simply stick with what you've been researching up till now. If you've been along for the ride, this bear market, you've probably been setting your positions, hopefully, along this time here. So just make sure you continue doing the same thing. The most important thing you can do right now is simply create money to invest. There's no easy way around it. We're all in the same boat. Everyone's run out of dry powder. You're not going to make the big returns shifting from asset to asset. You maybe, if you're the best trader in the world and you're able to read the signals perfectly, you think you have an AI bot that's going to do all the work for you. Fantastic. Let me know how that goes, and maybe I'll do it too. But for us mere mortals, you don't want to be going from asset to asset. You want to be going from dollars or fiat currency into these assets. That's the whole point. We're in a very inflationary period. We're going from dollars, for instance, if you're based in the US, is probably your best call. We're losing value on the dollar at a faster rate than we ever have. You think you're not doing yourself a favor by sacrificing right now, getting extra jobs, cutting back on a bunch of stuff? There is a quote that I may have mentioned in videos past that I've lived by for so long now because I understand the importance of it. And that is, live like most people won't, so you can live like most people can't. Apply cutting back, apply sacrifice, apply working hard. All of these things apply to that rule. And I guarantee you're going to be thanking yourself when the bull market comes and everything's going a lot more bullishly. Everyone's all of a sudden in euphoria mode, and you're thanking your lucky stars that you worked hard during the bear market, because we've seen it before. We've said it before. That is where the money is made. Stay tuned. We'll be diving in to a lot more projects going forward in terms of why we're buying, why we think they're good. We're comparing them with others, all of that good stuff that I know you want to hear. But right now, for those who need to hear it, for those I'm seeing going down some dark rabbit holes on Twitter, you don't need to be influenced in this way. Take the stress away from yourself and realize that things are going to get a lot more bullish. Stay tuned, and I will catch you on the next.